Yo, once again, it's on. Back at you one more again. Real Ken's TV in the house like kitchen sinks. Now I want to directly get into this whole situation with a rapper, Lil Baby, out of Atlanta, Georgia. It seems as though the Atlanta Police Department have an active arrest warrant out for Lil Baby for the murder of two 13-year-old kids that were innocently gunned down indirectly dealing with a Lil Baby video shoot. From what I understand, the Atlanta police issued this warrant because they allegedly, their Lil Baby went into a rival gang's neighborhood and shot a music video. Well, being that you're in a rival gang's neighborhood, doesn't take a genius to figure out it's going to be a problem. Gunfired, and it was gunfire. Several people were hit. This was in May of last year, 2024. The following month, in June, Lil Baby was doing a video shoot, I guess in his neighborhood, and there was retaliation, allegedly. During this retaliation, several other people got hit, which caused the death of two 13-year-old boys minding their business at a birthday party, just outside of the house, just chilling, not bothering anybody. And they get hit with these bullets. See, bullets don't have eyes. So while you have these alleged gangs firing at each other back and forth or what have you, none of the actual people that had problems with, each other were unalived. But at the same token, you got two 13-year-old innocent kids celebrating a birthday party that met their timely demise. As a result of all of this, the biggest name, Lil Baby, is a huge rapper. If you're not familiar with Lil Baby, just Google him. If you're not a hip-hop fan or you don't, really follow rap music, Google Lil Baby. And you'll be able to see just how big of an artist, successful artist, that he actually is. So here you have it now that there's an arrest warrant, 2 counts of murder, probably additional charges as well. But those murder charges are going to be the charges that really, really are going to cause him the most problems. See, the thing about it is, when you want to become a rapper, you have to understand all the things that come along with being a rapper. See, back in the day when I was young, man, rap, it was always a competitive thing. You could talk about people. You could, make fun of people, snap on people. But it stopped there. You weren't trying to fight the person. In the worst case scenario, you all might have a shoving match or something like that. Now it's gotten way, way, way beyond just rap. It's street. The rap game is street. So you got dudes that have beef in the streets because, let's face it, a lot of them, they come up rough. They come up in not the best of neighborhoods and not the best of circumstances. And they start to rap. And you may have this side, let's just say the east side, just throwing that out, as an example. Shout out to the east side, all across the world, all the east side. Well, they don't get along with the dudes on the west side. Shout out to the west sides all across the world. I know in Atlanta, they have zones. At the end of the day, it's all the same. Neighborhood, cliques, sides, sets, gangs, whatever you want to label it as. It's all the same. As far as one side not getting along with the other side simply because they're not from that same side. Y'all rock with me. And so you have these street wars that are consistently going on. And then you have rappers that start to blow up. So now you got the rapper from the east side. He's blown up. Well, you still have beef with the individuals that's on the west side. So simply because you're a rapper doesn't make the street beef just automatically go away. It's not as though the dudes on the west side is saying, you know what? Man, he done made it now. You know what I'm saying? He's doing his thing. Here we go, let this go. No, that's all the more reason why people are gonna hate on you, because of your success. Now you on TV. Now you driving the big Rolls Royces, and I'm talking about once you reach the level of success. A lot of rappers are dead broke out here. They're still trying to make their way, in the rap game. Kind of like me. I'm trying to make my way up, move my way up the ladder in the YouTube game. Got guys that have hundreds of thousands of subscribers. Hopefully one day I'll get there. But I'm going to get there the right way with integrity. I'm not going to go jump on here and just talk about people and badmouth people just for views. That's not what I do. So I always correlate the YouTube game somewhat to the rap game. Now what ends up happening is you get somebody on the west side and they blow up. And so now they can match, their money is not small anymore. Now they got money. Meaning they can hire more help. They can have more people around them. The entourages become, larger. So you got the east side and you got the west side. Dudes don't like each other. So oftentimes people say, oh man, why can't rappers get along, man? It's enough money for everybody. It's beyond rap. The 50 Cent and Irv Gotti situation and Ja Rule, rest in peace to Irv Gotti, that's beyond rap. This was street shit. It so happens that they both became successful rappers, 50 Cent and Ja Rule. So when you see these shootings, when you see this violence, understand that a lot of times that's what now comes along with the rap game, man. The rap game is just the new dope game. It's just the new street game. Not new. It's been going on for the longest of times. You got to have people around you. You can't just be out, by yourself, just hanging by yourself. You got to have an entourage because people will try to take you. They'll try to rob you. So not only do you have to worry about your ops, your enemies, because just because you beefing with the dudes on the west side, you might be beefing with some dudes on the south side or the north side, or they got a problem with you, and the jealousy and the envy and everything that comes along, once again, with being a successful individual. Lil Boosie said it best one time. People are hypnotized by hatred. Hypnotized by hatred. Every time they turn on the radio, they hear you. Every time they turn on the television, they see you. Every time they, cut their phone on the internet, Instagram, any sort of social media, they see you. Every time you're looking at the billboards as you're driving past, they see you. You've been the successful individual. Anytime there's a concert and it's sold out, they see you. People get hypnotized by hatred. They're not happy for you. Ultimately, they want to be you. They want what you have. Think about it. Why would an average individual be happy for somebody? I'm not telling you to not be happy, but why would an individual be happy for you dead broke? You don't know where your next meal's coming from sometimes. You don't have no car. You struggling. You sleeping on somebody's couch. You going from, apartment to apartment or what have you. And you looking at this individual and he got millions. He got millions on his neck. You're not going to be happy for him. If anything, you're going to be envious. Be happy for him for what? This is how an individual thinks. I don't think this way, but this is how a lot of individuals think. Hypnotized by hatred. Shout out to Lil Boosie, man. And so when you have these situations that occur, I'm quite sure, and I wasn't there, but I'm quite sure that Lil Baby was not the shooter. I'm quite positive that he was not the shooter, alleged shooter. Well, it was definitely a shooter, so I guess alleged wouldn't even be something that's needed in this particular situation, respectfully. I'm sure that the Atlanta, prosecution and police, they know that Lil Baby was not the guy that pulled the trigger. I'm sure that they know that he didn't order the trigger to be pulled. I'm quite sure that they know that he didn't even have anything to remotely do with the actual shooting. But he's the biggest name. He's a huge name. As I mentioned before, Lil Baby, he's a huge name. And this Atlanta mayor is determined to take down anybody that's dealing in the street life, in the street gangs and street wars. Look at all the people you seen. Young Thug, he went through. Just think about all the people in Atlanta, as far as rappers, that have been prosecuted. I believe Lil Baby's gonna beat this with flying colors. Yeah, you can charge somebody with something. This man got $1 million lawyers. I believe he's gonna beat this rather easily. But look what it does. Look what it does for his image. Yeah, when you catch a body on the streets, oftentimes that will people will look at you in a different light. And he's a killer, man. He's a guy, man. But not 13-year-old kids, man. He's gonna lose sponsorships. He's gonna get arrested. Hopefully he'll get a bond, but they're gonna do their best. When I say they, the prosecution, they're gonna do their best to ask the judge not to issue him a bond. Young Thug didn't have a bond. Murder case, 2 13-year-old kids. Yeah, it looks very, very bad. It is bad. They're definitely gonna ask for no bond. Oftentimes the judges and the prosecution work together. It's going to cost him millions of dollars in attorney fees. While he's sitting in jail, he's going to lose millions of dollars. Money that he would typically have coming in from shows, he's not going to have that. As I mentioned, you shelling out money, you helping your co-defendant. 7 people got arrested. So far, it's been 7 arrests. The individuals that's on your team, your squad or whatever, you got to pay for their lawyers. You got to help them if they get a bond, which I doubt it. But the point that I'm making is you really have to watch your circle, man. What does the Son Camera say? Because your circle may just be the ones that hurt you. Here it is, some individuals allegedly have done some irresponsible acts, which results in 2 13-year-olds being unalived at a birthday party, innocent. Wasn't even there, had nothing to do with it whatsoever. Although it wasn't you, little baby, it was people in your crew that you roll with, that you rock with. The rap game's dangerous, man. The rap game's dangerous. So these are all the things that you're going to have to endure. These are all the things that you're going to have to directly deal with to prove your innocence. When they know that you're not the one that did it. But see, they're saying that you are the cause of it. You're the responsible one. Knowing that you go into a rival's neighborhood, why would you go to a rival's neighborhood and shoot a video? Knowing that anything could potentially, most likely, is going to pop off. So due to your negligent actions, as you being the breadwinner, as you being the decision maker, as you being the successful one, you caused this whole thing. Again, these are not my thoughts. This is what the prosecution is going to try to get a jury to buy. They know this will probably never go to trial. I'm quite sure that they know that this will be something that will be ultimately dismissed. But in the meanwhile, they're setting a precedence. They're setting an example. This would not be tolerated in our city. Oftentimes, people wonder, and I've touched upon this, people wonder, why do these guys with all this success do these things? Why do they act this way? They have money now. Why don't they just go somewhere and chill out and enjoy life and enjoy their success? I've already explained that. A lot of times it was street beef before we even knew who Lil Baby was. And then you got people that are jealous. Man, you can't come to our neighborhood, man. You gonna pay. You come to this neighborhood to shoot a video, you gonna pay. Lil Baby probably feels like pay. And I'm just using Lil Baby as an example. I ain't paying nothing, man. My city too. I got gorillas with me just as well. And it becomes a back and forth thing, man. I would highly advise anybody, if you skilled in music and rap, and man, stay away from the street. street rap. There's other types of rap music. Everything doesn't have to be street. Half these rappers ain't really did these things they talking about in the first place. And if they have, then you're going to prison or you're going to the grave, man. People always talk about, it's a goal. It used to be a goal. It used to be a goal to live long, to live life. Now it's like you get a badge of honor by going to penitentiary. 20, 30 years. You 25 years old, 30 years old, and you going to penitentiary for 25, 30 years. And then when you reach out and you do a phone interview or something like that, if you have a stature or a name, man, I'm good, man. I'm holding my head up. You know what I'm saying? Shoot. I'm just in here trying to get my GED, man. Just, you know what I'm saying? Going to the law library every day, man. And I believe I'm going to be home. You could have been doing all those things out here on the streets. Beautiful women out here. Is opportunity every day out here on the streets. You got your kids, your family, your loved ones, but you want to act a fool and then go to the penitentiary and then and try to straighten out in the pen just to come back home and do the exact same thing that got you in the penitentiary. Y'all rock with me. Them judges rarely go against what the prosecution recommends. A prosecutor's going to say, well, Your Honor, we're opposing any sort of bail. We're requesting remand to the conclusion of this case. We believe little baby to be a flight risk. Little baby has extensive resources. He has a lot of money, but this is how they talk in court. He's very influential in the neighborhoods. He's influential in the hood. Any sort of witnesses, little baby's going to have some people get at him to intimidate them. And so we feel as though it's best for the betterment and the safety of the community and the witnesses and all parties involved in this horrific misfortune, unnecessary misfortune, that little baby remains behind bars. Then little baby's attorneys is going to get up and they're going to speak to the judge. Your Honor, these charges, first of all, we paid all due respects to the family. We're very remorseful. Those young men, unfortunately, it shouldn't have happened to them. It's very tragic situation. But our client, little baby, didn't have anything to do with that. Our client, little baby, is a target. He turned himself in. We've been in constant, when I say we, because he's not going to just have one lawyer. He's going to have a team of lawyers. We've been in constant contact with him. Looking forward to his day in court. Never has a reason to run, leave. That's what his attorneys are going to say. But 9 times out of 10, the judge is going to evaluate the situation. Little baby's already in jail. At this time, once he appears in court and they're asking for the bond, he's already in jail. Judge may make a decision that day. He may say, well, you know what? I need a week recess. I need, 3-4 day recess. So now you got to sit in jail and wait on this judge to come back. Just to not even let you out. And if they do let you out, the conditions are going to be so strict. House arrest, ankle monitor, can't travel, get dropped every day, meaning that, at any given time, a PO can show up at your house, or they call you down to the office or whatever, take a drug test, marijuana, any sort of drugs, alcohol sometimes. Conditions are so strenuous, can't have guests around the house. Who wants to live like that? I guess it's better than being in jail. All of these things could be avoided, man. I would implore anybody that may see this that's in the rap game and you blowing up, or you starting to get, a following and a name about yourself. I get it. You may have already had street beef. You've already had street problems. Man, move out of that city. If you're from a city like that, man, you likely to get gunned down in your own city. It's another thing Lil Boosie said, and I wholeheartedly agree. You're likely to get gunned down in your own city before you get gunned down anywhere else. Understand that you have to have people with you. I understand you want to take your homies with you. They grew up poor just like you did. I get it. But you also have to have a sense of responsibility. You also have to know that, man, my name is too large for any sort of foolishness right now. I'm going places, I'm 50, 75, 100 people deep. I'm paying for everything. Everything's coming out of my pocket. As far as, when we go on tour and, people got to have somewhere to sleep. They have to have somewhere to go shower. They have to get their transportation. They have to eat. So there's a lot of people that you're bringing with you that's going to cause you that unnecessary heartache, that unnecessary trouble, bad press, that unnecessary, spending of money. Because you want to bring everybody with you. I get it, though. I totally get it. You just have to be mindful. Look at an individual like 50 Cent. 50 Cent is not an individual that some people like him, some people don't. Most people don't. Think he cares? Absolutely not. But 50 Cent is smart. He got rid of all the individuals that didn't bring anything to the table. All the individuals that could potentially cause him money and just not a good look, bad press. He got rid of them. So they say, oh man, 50 Cent travels with the police. That's what he's supposed to do. 40-some-year-old man, almost 50. Why would I be traveling with gang members? Why would I be traveling with large entourages? Nah, I've done that. So now if you got a problem with me, you're going to have to get past these ex-Navy SEALs that are licensed to unalive people. Yeah, you're going to have to get past these gorillas, man. You really got a problem with me. And that's why I believe 50 Cent moves the way that he moves. You think I'm worried about you getting on Vlad TV or these other platforms talking about me? Talk to the dudes I feed if you got problems. We got to start being smarter. We got to start moving different. Nothing wrong with trying to squash a beef, man. It don't make you no punk. It don't make you less of a man. If you got a problem with somebody, somebody that has a problem with you, and it's ultimately over nothing anyway. Typically, it's over a woman, maybe a little bit of money. Somebody done diss somebody on a rap song. Something that's minute. Something that has the penitentiaries all across America overpopulated for because somebody stepped on their shoe or looked at them crazy in the club or try to holler at their girl, their baby's mama. Now they doing 30, 40 years in the pen. But if they had an opportunity, if they had one wish, if I had one wish, I wish I never had reacted that way. I was talking to a youngster, man, the Kentucky Derby some years ago. He done spent all this, the Kentucky Derby. Kentucky Derby is huge in Kentucky. He done spent all this money getting his car. He got the flip-flop paint job. He got the, I don't even know. I think he had some D's. Throw some D's on it. He had some D's on it because it was a while ago, some years ago. 100 spokes. Music, everything's jumping. Got the TVs. He come riding through, man. He looked like a rapper for real. But he was a trapper / rapper. They in traffic on Broadway. Something ends up happening and there's a collision between dude that his car I was just explaining, just a average individual, man. A neutron, a civilian, just an individual that was just out and they end up having an accident. Well, dude was so caught up in his mind about all this money that he done put into this car. You done hit my car? Bro, you done hit my car? So the dude's trying to explain like, bro, I didn't see you coming. The youngster wasn't trying to hear none of that. From what I understand, and this is from what I understand, the individuals that was with youngster, instead of, them saying, I'm not saying they were all saying these things, but, I know at least one of them, maybe two. Come on, bro, let it go, man. Let it go, man. He got insurance. I understand, your car, whatever. You love your car, but it ain't even worth it. Instead of them saying that, nah, man, slump this nigga, man. Slump this nigga. Now, the individual that I speak of, the civilian, he didn't know really what that meant, but that doesn't sound like that's anything that's gonna end well. Slump him. Unalive him. Leave him slumped over the wheel for hitting your car that you done paid all this money for to get ready for the Kentucky Derby. Y'all rock with me. He's encouraging them. Bam, bam, bam. He'll wait for the individual to get back into the car because the individual had sensed danger. He gets back into the car. He's waiting on the police. He gets slumped. Exactly what his partners told him to do. Slumped him. Unalived him. For what? For what? Now your dumb ass is doing 40 years at 85%. All over a fender bender. Don't make no sense, man. That's what the penitentiary is filled with. A lot of people. A lot of people. You got dudes that go to prison, man, they change their lives. You know, they get in there and they've been in there 15, 16, 20 years, and now they in the church and they know all the scriptures and they leading the church in prayer and they're, you know, speaking to the youngsters that are coming in and trying to tell them, like, listen, youngsters, you know, this is not the way to go. This is not what you do. This is not how you handle this. At the same time, they're still fighting for their freedom somehow, some way. We're going to make it up out this pen one day. That's their hope. That's their mindset, their frame of mind. Youngsters, you get one life. One. Baby mama ain't rocking with you for 20 years. Baby mama probably ain't even going to rock with you for a year. Respectfully. I would implore you, I'm not telling you not to rap if you have the talent to do so, but learn other skills as well. Learn how to play music. Learn how to write music. Learn how to, you know, the ins and outs of the business. Learn how to do radio. Learn how to just educate yourself. The whole realm of the spectrum, if you will, of the music industry, if that's really what you want to do, educate yourself, because even if you become a hot artist, it's like an athlete. You're only going to be an athlete for so long. Your Lil Waynes, your Drakes, your Kendrick Lamars, your Eminems, people like that are very, very, very rare to where they come along and they just stay hot. They hot and they stay hot. You have to put yourself in a different frame of mind. You have to slide your ego to the side and you have to say, you know what? I know that I'm hot right now, but I'm not going to be hot forever. Ja Rule talked about how when he was making all that money at a young age, $12 million a year or whatever, it's a lot of money back then. Hell's a lot of money now. A lot of money. He was just thinking, I'm going to stay hot forever. He never foresaw what was going to happen to him in Murder Inc. and you know, the label that he was signed to. He never could have imagined that was going to happen to him. So by chance, if you do have the blessings, and it's a blessing. There's a lot of people that's talented and never blow up. Never disrespect your blessing, man. You have a blessing and you blow up, put your money to the side, and venture off into other businesses, other, avenues, because you're not going to be hot forever. And if you're still involved in the streets, understand that you can't have one foot in and one foot out. Understand that just because you're not the one that's actually out there on the block, just because you're not the one that's actually out there, you know, pulling the trigger or whatever, don't mean that you can't be tied into it. Because they're gonna say that, you know what? Again, we're gonna get back to the biggest thing. You all are a gang. Although you're looking at yourself as, no, man, we're a business. Got an LLC, we're a record label, we're entertainment, we're, you know, promotions. No, you're a gang. You're a street gang. You're a dangerous street gang, and you're a danger to the community. How the prosecution is going to spin it, and the judge is going to listen. Sometimes the jury will listen, sometimes they won't, depending on your lawyer. Hell, you look at an individual, and I'm going to touch on this real briefly. P. Diddy, he can't even get out of jail. So being worth 700, 800, 900 million, what good is it doing you right now? Yeah, it's doing you well as far as you're not hurting financially. You're still able to take care of your family, your kids. Their lifestyle really, it's probably had to alter a little bit, but it probably hasn't changed majorly, as far as financially, but what about like mentally? Because you're not there now. There's only so much talking you can do on the phone. I heard you acted up in school today. I bet not find out. You better go to school tomorrow and act like you got some sense. Do you hear me? Do you hear me? It gets to a certain point, the kids are not going to listen to that. They're not afraid. You're not even here. All the money P. Diddy has gotten over the years does not help him in this situation as far as being a free man again. I've said it once, I'll say it again. I don't agree with it. I'm not cheering for it. I don't care what happens. I don't say that in a malicious way. A malice way. I don't have a dog in the fight. I think that what he did to that young lady was something that he's done several times. It was despicable. It was horrific. I have daughters. She continued to go back to him for whatever reason. She should have left his ass when he did it the first time. Definitely the second time, but it shouldn't even have been a second time. I think he's going to beat this case. When the feds come, man, the feds lose too. The thing about it is this. The conviction rate is so high because nobody ever goes to trial. Who has P. Diddy money? Money talks, man. Them lawyers. What are the victims at? Not to say that there's not any victims. What other people you can't have a one-man RICO? What type of shit is that? You got a one-man RICO. He's supposed to go to trial in May. And you all still haven't given his lawyer, you have to give his attorney something so that they can prepare for it. But see, what the prosecution wants to do is they ultimately want to push this thing off. But, Your Honor, we haven't had time to interview all the witnesses. We haven't had time to get all the necessary documents and paperwork. And so we'd ask that you push this trial date off until May of 26. In the meanwhile, he's still sitting in jail with no bond. On the flip side, his attorneys are saying, no, Your Honor, we ready to go now. We have a right to a speedy trial, constitutional right, a speedy trial. In May of 25, that's what the trial date is set for, and we ready. Judge is going to side most likely with the prosecution. They always do. So they're dragging him through the mud, because that's what they do. Anybody, they're going to drag you through the mud, make you sit in there and suffer, and suffer, and suffer. Not to say that he doesn't deserve it. I believe P. Diddy needs to sit down. The whole sex trafficking thing, I just think they went a little far with that. But I believe P. Diddy needs to sit down. He's beside himself. He's arrogant. He's been getting away with treating people bad for several years. So now he's getting what he gets. He's getting what he gets. But when it's all said and done, I think that they stretched with some of these charges that they charged him with. I believe he's ultimately going to beat the case. I've been saying that. Again, I ain't cheering for him. Like, I hope free P. Diddy. But just basically seeing what I've seen and kind of knowing how the system works. Where's the other victims? Where's the other witnesses? Every witness that you all have that says that he made the people stay at these freak offs, he's going to have witnesses that refute that and say, we was there at the freak off, but nobody was forced to stay. Nobody was forced to take any of these illegal, substances or whatever. We was there, we kicked it or whatever. And if we wanted to leave, we could leave. He's going to have people that come and say that just as well. And Cassie, the young lady that he brutally beat up, he should get 10 years just for that. He should. But the law is the law and it's past the statute of limitation. But he should get 10 years just for what we all witnessed him do on video. They're going to bash her on the stands. They're going to bash her. I promise you, they got private investigators. Anything and everything about her that's negative, that's shady, they're going to keep her on the stands for 2 weeks. And they're going to break her down, try to anyway, and make her just look like the worst person. Okay, but you was at all these freak-offs. You're saying that Mr. Combs made you be at these freak-offs. They got some videos, I would assume. Don't look like what are you doing right here, Miss Cassie? Doesn't look like anyone's making you do that. Looks like you're enjoying yourself. Yeah, they're going to make her a part of the freak-offs. And if they can break her down, I think he walks. Again, I don't think he deserves to walk totally. I just don't think he, sex trafficking knowledge, because I understand how they overcharge you. And then the media looks at it and is, oh, he's charged with this, he's charged with that, because they will overcharge you in a heartbeat. I'm in the Commonwealth of Kentucky. They'll charge you with, you get caught with 3 grams of crack cocaine and $40 in your pocket. They're going to charge you with being a drug trafficker. $50,000 bond back in the day. I think now it's $25,000. No bail bondsman, no 10%, nothing. Your bond's $50,000 is $50,000. Because you had 3 grams, 3.5 grams, $40, $60, $80 in your pocket. You might have a little scale, whatever, so you can weigh your work when you buy it. You're a user, so you want to make sure that you're getting the proper amount that you're, paying for. They're going to make you a drug trafficker. Instead of facing 1 to 3, you're facing 5 to 10 with a sentence enhancement, because that's your second felony. So now you're facing 10 to 20. You're facing 20 years for a charge that you shouldn't even be facing no more than 3 years on. So they offer you 10. Nah, man, I ain't taking no 10. You go back and forth. You sit in the county jail for a year, 13, 14 months. You get tired of just the rigorous court visits, because it's a process when you go to court every day. You get tired of it, going back and forth. You got a legal aid attorney. He's never or she's never communicating with you. You're not really getting anywhere in court. They offer you 8. You go on and take the 8 years, man. Almost 3 times the maximum of what the original charge should have been in the first place, which is just simple possession of a controlled substance, man. Understand how the system works. I understand how they consistently overcharge people. They got to keep these beds filled, man. Penitentiary is a business. Locking people up is a business, man. Yeah, you got people that are heinous. You got people that are graping people, doing things to little kids, elderly people, just people in general. But then you got situations that I just mentioned. There's a law in Kentucky that's called tampering with physical evidence. 3 or 4 of us, we sitting around. Marijuana's still not legal. Understand that. It's not legal here. We sitting around, we smoking. Smoking a joint. Smoking a blunt, whatever. Smoking a spliff. Smoking a black and mild. Whatever you're smoking marijuana. You look up, the police is coming. Oh, shit, the cops. Your natural instinct, you gone. Everybody scatters, you run. You run and you take the blunt, you throw it. You don't want the blunt on you, throw it. Police officer catches you. When he catches you, worst case scenario should be a simple possession of marijuana. $50 fine, citation, unarrestable offense. Guess it is arrestable, but typically they just write you a citation. Boom, gone. 9 times out of 10, the police don't even want to do the paperwork. They just going to take it, throw it away or whatever. Be careful. It's a warning to you. Today's your lucky day. Nah, they chase you down. Fleeing and evading, felony. Because you ran. Tampering with physical evidence because you threw the blunt trying to get it off you. Felony. Something that should have just been a $50 fine at worst. Now you're facing up to 10 years. 1 to 5 for fleeing and evading, running from an officer. 1 to 5 for tampering with physical evidence because you threw the blunt or the joint. And don't let the officer get hurt. Don't let him twist his ankle or, hurt his wrist or something like that. They're going to charge you with assault on the officer, which is another 1 to 5, maybe even 5 to 10. No exaggeration, no cap. That's how they get down in the Commonwealth, man. The system is crooked, man. The system is definitely crooked. Best thing you can do is just stay out of the system. But how do you stay out of the system? Like I said, if you just sitting there just smoking a joint and you're not thinking a blunt or whatever, and you thinking, okay, yeah, we minding our business or whatever. Who wants to get caught? And then boom, now you facing 10 years. And then you got to get you an attorney. Your people got to help you get an attorney. You got to get a bond. Now you sitting in jail with a $10,000 bond. The judge is looking at you all firm when you go to court as though you really did a hell of a crime. I say all of that to say, besides the fact that the system is crooked, it's very unfair. It's very biased. But these are the things that we have to know and recognize. See, that can't be an excuse any longer, because we, at this point in our lives, we know that we're dealing with a situation that's not designed for us to win. So we have to really be on our P's and Q's, like 50 Cent is. You never hear about 50 getting into any trouble because he moves correctly. Have the right people around you. And if they don't want to do right, send their ass home, because you can't afford this. Now you got a little baby wanted by the Atlanta police for 2 counts of murder. Like I said, that's ultimately going to beat, in my opinion. But because of the actions of the individuals, his crew that was around him, he has to deal with this, man. Once again, man, Hassan Campbell, man, he stole my manual rewind. My manual rewind, for you all that don't know, if I mess up or if I say something wrong or whatever, instead of editing, I just manually. Unfortunately, life don't work like that. You can't manually rewind something that happens in life, but I can manually rewind something that happens in this video. So he stole my manual rewind, so I'm gonna say, hey, watch your circle, man. Because they just may be the ones to hurt you. Real Kids TV. Hopefully you like the video. Feel free to comment. Definitely share. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. And be sure to hit that post notification. So anytime I bring you this action and this heat, guess what? You're amongst the first to receive. Rest in peace to those all the individuals that was affected by this shooting. The kids that lost their lives, the parents, the families, just the victims, just, man, I know people will never put the guns down. That's never going to happen. But just be mindful. Be mindful that when you spraying and you got your eyes closed and bullets have no eyes. And there are other individuals. You all got these high-powered, you don't just have revolvers. You all got this high-powered equipment, artillery. And other people are being affected by it each and every day. Real Kids TV. Salute.